Hi, in this video, I'm going to try to explain what the term the three circles of English actually refer to. So first of all, we need to start with how many people in the world can speak English. Well, the famous linguist David Crystal has estimated that around 2 billion people can hold a basic conversation in English. Now, I should say guesstimate rather than estimate because this number is highly uncertain and it's a combination of calculations and guesswork which has led David Crystal to this number. The proficiency level among these 2 billion speakers is, of course, very different, and that's why countries are placed in these three circles depending on how English is used within their country. So if we start with the inner circle, here we find people who have English as their native language. So countries where a majority of the population have English as their mother tongue fall into this category. Examples are the US, England, Australia, New Zealand, and so on. The number of speakers that we find in this category is between 350 and 380 million people. This number has been fairly stable, so this is not a number that is growing. Now, in the middle circle, we find countries where English is used as an administrative or second language, which means that it can be used in schools, politics, hospitals, the judicial system, which means in the courts, and so on. But it's often used in combination with other languages, but it often is used as a lingua franca within a country that has a lot of different languages. So a typical example here is India. Now, the main difference between the inner circle and the middle circle is that in the middle circle, even though English is used to a large degree as an administrative language, often few people have it as their mother tongue. So in India, the number of people who use English as their first language or native language is less than 1%. So English has a different function in this circle than in the inner circle. In the outer, or also called expanding circle, because this is the circle that is growing, more and more people fall into the category that we find here. Here, English is not a second language and it's not a native language, but it's a foreign language. Now, what is meant by that? Well, we are an example of a country that fall into this category. So English is a foreign language in Norway. It means that it's taught in schools. So people master or are proficient in the language, but it's not used in our daily life. Now, of course, this is maybe changing a little bit because more and more businesses use English in their everyday life, and you have to communicate with other countries and businesses in other countries. So, but English, the role of English in the outer or expanding circle is as a foreign language. So this is a very basic and short explanation of these three circles. Now, I have two questions for you. The first one is why? Why do some countries fall into the outer expanding circle? Why do other countries fall in the middle circle? And why are some countries in the inner circle? So for example, why is the US here? Why is India here? And why are we here? Now, to find the explanation or the reason behind this, you of course have to look to history, but there could also be more sort of contemporary reasons for this. The second question is it possible to imagine a change? For example, is it possible that Norway can fall into this category, or the US move from the inner circle into the middle circle? And if that were to happen in the future, why? So why are countries in the circle that they are, and is it possible that this might change?